when they have a collar tie on you, and we start here, I need to break their collar tie first. This gives me like more control over his posture. Simultaneously, I'm dunking his head, but I'm also pulling it into me like this. So now I get my shoulder on top of his neck as deep, pretty much like as deep as possible. This is not deep, where it's only my arm that's on top of the back of his neck, but it's my shoulder. So he's right in my armpit. And this arm is gonna go all the way around to the armpit on the other side, okay? And hand's gonna be facing down, this one's gonna go up, gable grip. So I saw you guys experimenting with figure four grip. It is an option for sure, but I personally like this one more because I'll be able to control his elbow a little bit better with this pinch. If I have a figure four, I can't control that arm really because I'm all locked up behind him. I prefer gable grip with pinching my elbow to pinch his elbow towards his center line, okay? So I'm doing this twist in a way. I'm using my forearm to dig his arm under him, like that. Another thing is we want good head position. So before we just ended here, I want you to put your ear in his armpit as well. The more on the side of his body it is, the better. Because if I lose this grip for whatever reason, my head is still blocking his arm from coming all the way out, okay? If my head is here and I lose this grip, I pretty much lost it. He can come on top of me and like pretty much claw me back. So here, I have my head on the side of his body or his ribs with my ear connected. Gable grip, this one down. Also, just like the back body lock, I have a long arm and a short arm. This arm, this elbow is pretty much connected to my own ribs, like this, okay? Okay, so now, how do I bring them to the ground? Pretty much with this shoulder pressure, I'm gonna push his head down to the ground, and I'm gonna step towards the outside, and then do a kung fu step backwards. What I'm doing is, so if you imagine his body as a table right now, it's got 4 legs. I want, right now, because his arm is here, my leg is his 4th leg, okay? But what I want to do is step away from that space where his 4th leg should be, like that, and then drag it down, okay? Here. As he dunks, or as I dunk him, I also like the bicep tie to do that, to help me guide his elbow under him, so that I can get a tight gable grip. Head to the ribs, with my ear connected. I'm using my shoulder pressure to drive his neck down, and then you imagine your tabletop right now if he posts his hands on the ground, wider, like a table, yeah, like that. You can see very clearly that I'm his 4th leg right now. I'm going to step away from it to the outside and then bring him to the ground. Okay? So, open and dunk. We're here. Make sure all those details are there. That's arms, head position, and using my shoulder, and then dragging to the ground. We'll end here, just into like both knees, both person are on their knees with the front headlock. And keep your head connected as you come down, okay? One more time. Front headlock. I'm going to step to the side and drag it to the ground. Any questions? Good to drill it. Okay, 12 on 3, 1, 2, 3. So we did all this, getting the head dunk, front headlock. From here, when you guys bring your opponent to the ground, I really want you to exaggerate pulling them too. I forgot to mention that last time. With the shoulder pressure, and the pull, you can really make them like drop. So we're gonna finish off the move from here. Right now I'm on my feet. Let's say I'm pretty much like facing him, right in front, okay? So here, and my opponent is gonna stay on their knees for now. I'm gonna come down to my knees and start going around his body to take the back, okay? So you guys should be on this side. Okay.
Actually,
Which way? So right now at this, we're both on our knees. What I first need to do is make sure that his weight is really head forward. The more that he can posture, because of a weak grip here, the more that he's gonna be able to reversal on me. So I really need to make sure his head weight stays down like this. Just hand post for now. Elbow actually, yeah, it's here. I have a tight grip here, my head's on the side of his ribs. I'm first gonna use my short arm, the one that's not under his body, to pinch his elbow so that his base collapses. Now his shoulder doesn't have a post. I then capture it with this hand. Actually, I'll capture it with this hand, and then I'll step with my knee across this way. I'm going to want to go to the side of his body this way, so I need to make sure that this knee leads, and I'm going for like the flank position, basically. Okay, so here, I'm gonna pinch his elbow so he loses that arm as a base. Trap his tricep or his upper arm with my hand, and now I'm gonna start stepping with my knee here. Where I put my knee is where his elbow used to be. Basically, I want to block it from coming back inside too quickly. In a sparring situation, there will be more variables. So as long as I do my best to prevent it, it'll give me enough time to start going around his back, okay? So right now I'm here. My first knee is placed in. My second knee is going to go right beside his knee, like this, okay? My hand is now also going to start coming around and grabbing a waist grip here. So I'm doing right now I'm on my right knee. I'm going to do like what do you call this?
Combat.
Like combat stance switch to come behind him. So I was here. I'm going to just switch my base like that. So I'm here, I'm on this knee, it's next to his shoulder. I'm going to step close to his hip so that my knee drops next to his, and then bring this knee up, okay, with the base right here. As I come around, I don't need the front headlock anymore because now I have control of his waist and his whole upper body just by being behind him. Okay. Here, I'm behind him. This is you want to stop here? Okay. This is a very deep grip. I'm going almost all the way around his waist if I can. This hand is just going to block his tricep like this. This position is called side ride, and there are like crazy amount of things you can do from here, but after we'll take it back. Okay. Want to see it one more time in full? Standing. Here, I'm getting on top of him, keeping a tight control of his arm and head on the side. Grabbing, my opponent's going on their knees. I'm going to come down too. Make sure that this tricep is pinched towards his center line. Catch. Change my knee. This one comes next to his knee, and as that happens, waist grip. And now, the one that was headlocking will come behind the tricep like this. I'm in a combat stance on the side here too. My leg is parallel to his. It's fully connected to him. My hip is connected as well to his hip, so I'm leaning into him like this. I can even push a little to make him have to sustain my weight. Okay, any questions? 12 on 3, 1, 2, 3. I've stepped around and I'm in side ride position. I just want to like really bring to the point that side ride is a very strong position for me. I don't want to go for a harness until I get full control of his base. And it's really important that I have this under grip on his tricep. This prevents him from getting his arm back in and coming and forcing me to be back in front of him. So over here, I want to prevent that because now it's blocking him from turning into me and I can continue taking the back. From here, just one small thing for us to finish the move, I guess, is I want to use my elbow here in his hip and my knee blocking his knee to pull him onto his butt. So we're here. I want to pull him onto his butt, and the only space I'm going to create is moving my hip. I still need this knee here to trap his base so that he trips over him. Okay, so we're here. Now I can get the harness because now that he's on his side, he has a more difficult time to recover or to bring me back in front of him. So we're here. I have my elbow. It's pinching into his hip bone, and that is what's gonna pull him over. I'm not using my hand because if my hand is here, the circle is too big. Like my grip on his waist is not good. But here, if my elbow is connected, I can keep this hand free even to start doing other things, like trapping this wrist, or it can be my harness. So I like using my elbow to pull him down. Now you can get the harness. We'll just throw one leg over, get this knee into his rib, and pull him up into back control. Good. One more time. Here, I get to a side ride position. Here, pulling, harness, and then get my knee into his ribs, right in this hole here. Throw my leg over. And right now I have the top hook. I want to make that the bottom hook. So I actually need to bring him to the other side to get my other hook. Any questions? 12 on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Just to break it down, right? So when I have my partner, right? When I'm trying to break down his base, right now you see his hips are kind of between his knees. So actually, just go just up like this. He's like this. See, it kind of makes like a triangle thing. Right? Top of the hips is between the knees, right? So like when people are balanced, the hips are between the knees. When they're snowboarding, when they're skateboarding, when they're surfing, when their hips between their knees, they're balanced, right? When I start breaking the shape, like I start pulling one hip over the knee, he gets less balanced. And if I take his hip outside of his knees, now we know that his base is all the way up here. Right? I can break his base, right? So when we come to this position, so now he's got a really wide position, right? When I do this move, I'm gonna cup the back, and people are trying to jerk and stuff, right? All I want you guys to do is stay connected to the hip. And all I want to do is I just want to pull his hip over one knee, right? Once I pull that knee, or once that hip over the knee, then I can just knock him over. And it takes very little power, right? So here, I'm going to get in here, just put his weight over one knee, and then I can do my switch, okay? So save your energy to when you need to use it most, right? So here, I don't need to fight it, right? I can just drag his hip over, and then I can bring his hip down. Okay, so I'm really just trying to drag his hip over and pull it. Right, so you should be able to use this idea, and you can really start dragging people that are bigger than you. Alright, let's try. 12 on 3, 1, 2, 3.